They're the most gifted and talented team of their generation, reigning European and world champions, the side that all others measure themselves against. Spain are officially the #1 team on the planet, and this summer they'll be looking to make history. 4 years ago, Spain's promise came to prominence in Austria and Switzerland as they won Euro 2008. Not content with the Henri Delaunay trophy, in July 2010 they claimed their first ever FIFA World Cup by triumphing in South Africa. This June, Spain will attempt to become the first ever national team to win 3 major trophies in a row when they defend their European title in Poland and Ukraine at Euro 2012. As preparation, they've come to the renowned Schruns-Tschagguns training resort in Austria. Over a series of 9 programs, we'll follow all of Spain's preparation ahead of Euro 2012 with news, views and interviews from inside the camp and the best of the action from their warm-up friendly matches against Serbia and South Korea. Our destination for the next 9 days is the beautiful Austrian village of Schruns. Set amongst the backdrop of the Alps, it's a favourite haunt for major football clubs and international sides as they prepare for the rigours of tournament football. In the past, the likes of Inter Milan, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Japan and the Ivory Coast have taken advantage of this prime location and its outstanding facilities. This month it's the turn of the European and world champion Spain to flex their considerable muscle. We'll delve more into the excellent training complex that Schruns provides later in the series, but as for the location itself, the tiny village is in the federal state of Vorarlberg. It's hard to ignore the breathtaking alpine surroundings, particularly in the Montafon region. It's become a bastion of sport, a frequent venue for attractive competitions, and a second home to top athletes. For a period of years in the early 1920s, it was the favourite ski resort of Ernest Hemingway. Some of the mountains here are 3,000 meters above sea level, with beautiful summits, lush meadows and fresh, clean air. The resort features 246 kilometers of ski slopes, 500 kilometers of hiking trails and 800 kilometers of mountain bike routes. And this will be the home to the Spanish national football team for the next week. They may be world #1 now, but it hasn't always been plain sailing for La Roja. Victory in 2008 ended a trophy drought of 44 years. That last triumph came in 1964 when Spain beat the Soviet Union at the Bernabeu Stadium to claim the European Championship, their first ever major tournament win. After that followed several years of heartache as a series of well-fancied teams fell by the wayside. Spain played the role of hosts again for the 1982 World Cup. Expectations were high, but they only just managed to squeeze through their initial group, which included a disastrous loss to Northern Ireland, and they were eventually eliminated in the second group phase after losing to West Germany. 2 years later, Spain were much improved at Euro 1984. They reached the final in France, where they met the host, but had to settle for runners-up medals, going down 2-0 in Paris. There would be more frustration at the 1986 World Cup in Mexico. Despite an Emilio Butragueño-inspired 5-1 thumping of Denmark in the second round, they crashed out on penalties to Belgium in the quarter-final. The next 2 tournaments saw successful qualifying campaigns followed by disappointing early exits in the competition itself. 2 defeats from 3 games ended their participation at the group stage in Euro 1988, while the 1990 World Cup wasn't much better, as Spain were eliminated by Yugoslavia in the second round. Failure to qualify for Euro 1992 was made up for by a decent showing in the USA at World Cup 1994, where they were controversially knocked out in the quarter-finals by Italy. Euro 1996 again saw the curse of penalties strike, as Spain fell to hosts England, again at the quarter-final stage. The 1998 World Cup in France was a painful experience though, as Javier Clemente's side won only 1 game and were eliminated at the group stage. Spain's FIFA ranking fell to an all-time low of 25, but it would signal the steady rebirth of a footballing nation. Things improved greatly at Euro 2000, where Spain were only beaten by eventual winners France in the quarter-finals. There would be another quarter-final appearance in Japan and South Korea, but co-host Korea ended their involvement in the 2002 World Cup when penalties would again prove their undoing. Euro 2004 was a setback as Spain failed to advance from the group stage in Portugal, but a group of young players had started to emerge, including Iker Casillas, Xavi Hernandez and Fernando Torres. 2 years later in Germany, boss Luis Aragonés blooded more of a young crop that would eventually rule the world, with the likes of Andrés Iniesta, Sergio Ramos, Cesc Fabregas and David Villa all made their bow as Spain reached the second round of World Cup 2006, only narrowly beaten by eventual finalists France. At Euro 2008, Aragonés' side came of age, and by beating Germany in the final by a Fernando Torres goal to nil, they were crowned champions in Austria and Switzerland. Following that triumph, Aragonés handed the managerial reins to Vicente del Bosque, and he masterminded a first-ever World Cup triumph as a single Iniesta goal was enough to beat Holland in South Africa. That victory was the culmination of 12 years' hard graft to get Spain to the top of world football. Now the challenge is to stay there. The Spanish national team arrived at St. Gallen Airport in Switzerland before moving on to their base in Austria this afternoon, ahead of 8 days of training in preparation for the European Championships in Poland and Ukraine this June. The team arrived after convening on Monday at midday and taking part in 2 training sessions before travelling. During their stay at Schruns-Tschagguns, the base of the national team during their successful Euro 2008 campaign, they will play 2 friendly international games and prepare the squad for the tournament ahead. The first of the 2 international matches comes at the Arena St. Gallen on the 26th of May against Serbia, who missed out on qualification by a point behind group winners Italy, who Spain will face in the group stage. The second friendly of the preparation period will be against South Korea on the 30th of May in Bern. Korea beat the Spanish at the quarter-final stage of the World Cup in 2002 on penalty kicks. The squad has a fresh feel to it, with 7 uncapped players chosen by boss Vicente del Bosque in the absence of players from Athletic Bilbao, FC Barcelona and Chelsea, who have been delayed due to their participation in the Copa del Rey and the Champions League finals. The La Roja manager will make a final decision on his 23-man squad on May the 27th, after assessing the fitness of his charges when the whole squad is assembled. The likes of Fernando Llorente, Iker Muniain and Andoni Iraola from the Europa League and Spanish Cup finalists Athletic Bilbao, and Xavi, Andrés Iniesta and Gerard Piqué from FC Barcelona will join the rest of the squad after the Copa del Rey final this coming weekend. Juan Mata and Fernando Torres will join the group on the 25th of May after their successful Champions League final for Chelsea at the Allianz Arena in Munich last weekend. Spain have named an initial 21-man squad for their Austrian training camp, but due to domestic and European Cup commitments, there are no players from Barcelona, Athletic Bilbao or Chelsea. While the likes of Fabregas and Torres top up their tans, that means a few new faces amongst the established hierarchy. Here's a full rundown of the 21. Iker Casillas is the most capped player in Spain's history and captained the World Cup and European Championship winning sides in the recent past. David De Gea's summer may well be spent in London at the Olympic Games, with the likes of Pepe Reina and Victor Valdés ahead of him. The Manchester United stopper had a much better second half of the Premier League season. In Pepe Reina, the Spanish national team have an excellent backup goalkeeper to their number 1 and captain, Iker Casillas. Valencia left-back Jordi Alba has been hugely impressive after replacing World Cup winner Joan Capdevila in the Spanish national team. Raúl Albiol provides a huge amount of talent and depth in the back line for the Spanish national team. Alvaro Arbeloa provides experience and versatility on the back line, equally adept at right or left full back. The uncapped Alvaro Dominguez has had a very impressive season, culminating in the Europa League win with club side Atletico Madrid. Another talented left fullback, Nacho Monreal, has helped his club, Malaga, into the Champions League next season after finishing fourth in the Primera División this year. Just 26 and with already 83 caps to his name, Sergio Ramos of Real Madrid is one of the finest defenders in the world. One of 7 uncapped players in Vicente del Bosque's squad, Juan Fran can cover multiple positions on the right-hand side and has been in excellent form this season. Bruno Soriano made his international debut in the first friendly after the World Cup win in the summer of 2010 and was a bright spark in an otherwise dismal season for Villarreal. Xabi Alonso has been in scintillating form this season, and in him, Spain have one of the finest midfield men in world football. Another of the uncapped contingent in the 21-man squad, Beñat Echeverría, has been in excellent form recently, including 2 goals in the Seville derby. Benfica midfielder and former Real Madrid youth player Javi Garcia will be hoping to get his first cap in the upcoming friendly matches with Serbia and South Korea. Another Malaga representative, Isco, may well be preferred for the Spanish Olympic squad than the European Championship Final 23. Another player in excellent form this season, Santi Cazorla, will offer pace and creativity from either side of the pitch for the Spanish national team in the European Championships this summer. Adrian Lopez of Atletico Madrid was the top scorer in the Under-21 European Championships last summer with 5 goals. He's more likely, though, to join the Olympic squad. Jesus Navas has explosive pace and was used to great effect in the latter stages of the 2010 World Cup win in South Africa. Two goals in qualification for the 2010 World Cup weren't enough to see Alvaro Negredo included in the final squad. He has 5 goals in 7 appearances for the national team. Roberto Soldado scored more goals than any other Spaniard in La Liga this season, as well as an impressive hat-trick in his last international outing in the February friendly against Venezuela. With more assists than anybody else in the Premier League this season and a winner's medal, David Silva will be intrinsic to any successes of the national team this summer.
That's it for part 1, but before the break, here's a quick question.
Who scored the winning goal for Spain in the Netherlands at 2010 World Cup final?